Right, so in this video I'm going to have a look at solving more algebraic equations. So I'm going to do a few examples of more detailed ones that I've done in the previous video. So let's have a look at, for example, let's say our first example here will be 4x plus 5 is equal to 3x plus 6. So we have to solve this particular case. We want to solve this equation, or solve for x. We want to find out what x is. So down here somewhere we want to have x isolated, so we want x equal to some number. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. Now we've got an x here and we've got an x on this side of the equation as well. So what we want to do is try and move these to one side of the equation. So I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to move it over to this side of the equation. Now how am I going to do that? I have to get rid of it first of all from this side of the equation, from the right hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract it from the right hand side of the equation. So what I'm going to write down is the following. Right, so I'm going to take the left hand side, which is 4x. I've got a plus 5 on the left hand side. On the right hand side I've got 3x and I have the plus 6. So all I've done is just widen the gap between 4x and plus 5. So I still have 4x plus 5 equals 3x plus 6. And the reason I've done that is because what I want to do on the right hand side here is get rid of this 3x from the right hand side. So what I want to do is subtract 3x from the right hand side. Now because this is an equation, I've stuck in a minus 3x. I've subtracted minus 3x from the right hand side of the equation here. So really, to keep the equal sign here, I need to do exactly the same to the left hand side. So I need to put in a minus 3x on this side as well. Okay, so I haven't really changed the equation as such. All I've done is put in a minus 3x on this side, a minus 3x on this side. So the equation is still balanced. It's still an equation. I haven't changed the equation as such. So let's see what happens when we actually do that. Now we have a plus 4x here and a minus 3x here. So plus 4x minus 3x plus 4 minus 3 gives us 1. So we just end up with 1x. We still have the plus 5 on this side. So that's the left hand side done. Let's look at what happens to the right hand side. Well, we've got a plus 3x here, a minus 3x here. So these are just going to give me 0. Plus 3 minus 3 will give me 0. And I just end up with the plus 6 on the right hand side. Okay, so now look what's happened. I've taken this 3x and effectively I've moved it over here and got a minus 3x, and it's cancelled from the right hand side. So I'm now left with, instead of an x on the left hand side and an x on the right hand side, I now just have one x here and it's on the left hand side of the equation. So what I'm going to do here now is, again, I have a plus 5 on the left hand side. I have a plus 5 on the left hand side, and I really need to get rid of that plus 5. Remember, I'm trying to isolate the x. I'm trying to get x on its own. So what I'm going to do here now is, because I'm adding this 5 to this x, I'm going to subtract at the 5 from the left hand side. So now I'll have a plus 5 minus 5 on the left hand side. But because I put in a minus 5 on the left hand side of the equation, I have to do the same on the right. So I've stuck in a minus 5 on the right hand side as well to keep the equation balanced. Okay, so let's see what happens here. On the left hand side we've got an x. Then we have this plus 5 minus 5, which is going to give me 0. And on the right hand side I've got a 6 minus 5, which is just 1. So I've isolated the x equal to 1. X is equal to 1 in this case. Now if you want to check this just to see is that actually correct, you can just stick 1 into your original equation here. So this is my check. So we've got 4 times x plus 5 equal to 3 times x plus 6. Let's see, does it work? Well, we can put we know that x is 1 now, so put the 1 in here, plus 5, 3 times 1 plus 6. Now 4 times 1 is 4 plus 5. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 6. So we just simply end up with 4 plus 5, which is 9. 3 plus 6, which is 9. 9 is equal to 9. It's correct. So x is equal to 1. This is correct. Right, so that's the first example. Let's have a look at another one. Example number 2 here. So let's have a look at, say, 5x plus 2x minus 1 is equal to minus 10 minus 2x. Okay, so in this case we've got three lots of x's here. We have a 5x, we've got a plus 2x, and we've got a minus 2x on this side. So what I've got to do again is try and get all these x's to one side, try and get all the numbers on the other side, and see what happens. Well, let's start here on the left hand side first. Well, if you look at this here, you've got a 5x and a 2x together here. We can add these two here. A 5x plus a 2x is actually going to give us 7x. We've got minus 1 equals minus 10 minus 2x. So I've just simplified the left hand side. Now let's have a look here. We've got a minus 2x on this side, we've got a plus 7x on this side. I'm going to try and get rid of this minus 2x from the right hand side. You can also try and get rid of the plus 7x from the left hand side. It doesn't really matter which one you try and get rid of, so long as you get rid of one of them from one of the sides. But when you do enough of these, you'll discover that getting rid of the minus 2x on the right hand side is going to work out a little bit easier for us. So let's do that. Now, on the left hand side we've got 7x minus 1. On the right hand side we've got minus 10 minus 2x. Now, what I need to do on the right hand side here is get rid of this minus 2x. It's a minus 2x. The 2x is being subtracted from this minus 10. So it's a minus 2x. So what I want to do is I want to add 2x to the right hand side. So because minus 2x plus 2x will give me 0. But I put in a plus 2x to the right hand side of the equation. So I'm really going to have to do exactly the same to the left hand side. So I'm going to put in a plus 2x on the left hand side as well to keep the equation balanced. Otherwise it wouldn't be equal. Right, so let's do that then. We've got 7x plus 2x is 9x. On the right hand side we've got minus 10. Now we've got a minus 2x plus 2x. Minus 2 plus 2 is just 0, so that just disappears here. We get plus 0 here if you like, so I'll just leave it out. Okay, so now we've reduced the equation from this x, and this x here down to just one lot of x's here, this 9x. So we had a 5x, a 2x, and a minus 2x. Now we've just got one lot of we actually have a 9x here, just one lot. So we need to get rid of this minus 1 first of all. Now the minus 1 is, this 1 here is subtracted from the 9x, so to get rid of it we're going to do the opposite to subtracting. We're going to add 1 here. So effectively what we're going to do is this. We've got a minus 1 on this side, and we've got minus 10 on this side. So I've got a minus 1 here. The opposite of minus is going to be plus, so I'm going to add a 1. Minus 1 plus 1 will give me 0. I also must do the same to the other side of the equation, put in a plus 1. Okay, so let's see what will happen when we do this. 9x minus 1 plus 1 is 0, so that's just going to disappear. Minus 10 plus 1 will give me minus 9. So we end up with 9x is equal to minus 9. Now we still have this 9 stuck to this x here. So we have a 9x equal to minus 9. To get rid of this 9 then, we've got to get rid of this 9 to isolate the x, to get x on its own. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, what is the 9 doing to the x? The 9 is multiplied by the x, or the 9 is multiplying the x. It's 9 times x. So what we need to do is do the opposite to multiplying, which is divide. So we want to get rid of the 9, so we divide by 9. We also must divide by 9 on the right hand side. Whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side as well, to keep the equal sign here, to keep the equation balanced. So let's do that and see what happens. 9 divided by 9 is 1, so we end up with 1x, or just x. Minus divided by plus is minus. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So in this case, x is equal to minus 1. Let's just check that again and see what happens. So this is our check here. See, is this actually correct? Well, our original equation was, let's see, 5x plus 2x minus 1 is equal to minus 10 minus 2x. So let's stick the minus 1 in here and see does it work. Well, you've got a 5 times minus 1. We've got a plus 2 times minus 1. Or minus 1 there, equal to minus 10 minus 2 times minus 1. Let's just work this out and see does it work. See, do we get the left hand side equal to the right hand side? Plus times minus, minus 5 times 1, 5. Plus times minus, minus 2 times 1, 2. Minus 1 here. Minus 10. Minus times minus plus 2 times 1, 2. So we end up with minus 5 minus 2. That gives us minus 7. Minus 7 minus 1 is minus 8. So on the right hand side, minus 10 plus 2 is also minus 8. So that's correct. Minus 8 is equal to minus 8. So x is equal to minus 1. Right. Let's do another example. Okay, so let's do our third example. Now this one is, what I'm going to do here is just introduce some brackets and see how we get on with that. So let's take 4 bracket x minus 1 is equal to 2 bracket 3x minus 7. Okay, so what we need to do here before we do any cancelling or moving x's or numbers from one side to the other is get rid of these brackets here first of all. And when we have a 4 stuck to a bracket here, it just means multiply. So we got to multiply the 4 by the x and the 4 by the minus 1. 4 times x, 4x. 4 times minus 1, minus 4. 2 times 3x, 2 3s are 6x here. Plus times minus, minus 2 7s, 14. Right, so now we end up with an equation very similar to the one we did earlier. So what I'm going to do is, this time I'll tell you what, we'll get rid of the 4x from the left hand side. So I'm going to go 4x, and I've got a minus 4 here, I've got a 6x here, and I've got a minus 14. So what I'm going to do here is, this is a plus 4x, I'm going to put in a minus 4x on the left hand side to get rid of it. So I must put in a minus 4x on the right hand side. Okay, so let's do that then. 4x minus 4x is 0. So we get minus 4 on the left hand side. 6x minus 4x is 2x minus 14. Now in this case we have to get rid of the minus 14 and the 2. Get rid of the minus 14 first. Get rid of anything that's added or subtracted first. So we have a minus 4 on the left hand side. On the right hand side we've got 2x minus 14. That's a minus 14, so I'm going to stick in a plus 14 here. Minus 14 plus 14 will give me 0, so I must stick in a plus 14 on the left hand side. So let's do that. Minus 4 plus 14 is 10. 2x on the right hand side. Minus 14 plus 14 is just 0. Now I've got a 2x here, so that will give me, on the left hand side I've got 10, on the right hand side I've got 2x. Now the 2 is multiplied by the x. So I do the opposite to get rid of that 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. Also divide by 2 on this side. So that will give me 10 divided by 2 is 5. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I end up with x equal to 5. And again we can check that. Let's see, does that work? Original equation was 4 times x minus 1 is equal to 2 times 3x minus 7. We found out that x was equal to 5, so let's put that in. We have 4, we have a 5 here to put in instead of x, and minus 1. 2 times 3 times our x is 5, so put that in there, minus 7. So we still have our 4 times, this is our x minus 1, x is 5. 3 times x, 3 times 5, minus 7. Okay, so let's do that then. We do what's in the brackets first. So 5 minus 1 is just 4. Here we end up with 2. 3 5s will give me 15 minus 7. 4 4s will give me 16 on the left hand side. Here I end up with 2 times 15 minus 7. That will give me 8. 15 minus 7 is 8. That will give me 16 is equal to 2 8, 16. That's correct, so x must be equal to 5. So that's worked out nicely for us. Let's do one more example and then we leave that, okay? We'll do one more example. Okay, so this is example number 4. So let me do just slightly longer one. So we've got 3 times 2x minus 1 minus 5 is equal to 2 times 2x plus 3, 2 times 2x plus 3 plus 4. So let's do that out then. First of all, we need to get rid of the brackets here. So 3 2s are 6x. 3 times minus 1 minus 3 minus 5. 2 2s 4 times x. 2 3s 6 plus 4. Okay, so let's do all of this again. So we have to get rid of this 4x from the right hand side. Oh well, actually, you know what we'll do first? We'll add these numbers first of all. So we have 6x minus 3 minus 5 is minus 8. Over here we've got a 4x. 6 plus 4 will give us 10. So again, we've ended up with an equation that's very similar to the previous equations. So I'm going to get rid of this 4x on the right hand side. So we've got 6x minus 8 is equal to 4x plus 10. So on the right hand side I'm going to get rid of this 4x. So I'm going to stick in a minus 4x. So I'm going to stick in a minus 4x on the left hand side as well. Okay, so let's do that and see what happens. 6x minus 4x, 2x minus 8. Here we end up with just 10. The 4x minus 4x is 0. Okay, so on this side here I've got a 2x minus 8. So I want to put in a plus 8 here to get rid of the minus 8. So let's do that then, okay? So you've got 2x minus 8 on the left hand side. On the right hand side we have a 10 here. I'm going to put in a plus 8 here to get rid of it. I'm going to put in a plus 8 here on the right hand side. So let's see what happens when we do that. Minus 8 plus 8 is 0, so we just end up with 2x here. 10 plus 8 is 18. So again, we've got a 2x here. The 2 is multiplied by the x, so to get rid of it, I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2. So what I end up with here is 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I end up with x is equal to 9. And again, to check that, I mean, just do this equation here. I'll just do it here quickly. 3 times, I'll just do the left hand side first. 3 times 2 9s, 18, minus 1, minus 5. This is just the left hand side we're doing first. So I did 2 times 9, which is 18. So on the left hand side then we have 3 times 18 minus 1, which is 17, minus 5. Now 3 17s is, let's see, 3 7s, 21, put down a 1, carry 2, 3 1s, 3 4, 5, minus 5. So that's just going to give me 46. Yeah, 46. So the right hand side then is going to be exactly the same. You've got 2 times 2 9s give me 18 plus 3 and then the plus 4. This is going to be 2 times 18 plus 3, 21 plus 4. So I end up with 42 plus 4, which gives me 46. 46 is equal to 46, so this is correct. It works out nicely for us. Okay, so that's the last example I'm going to do in this particular case.